So here's an argument I would make when a mother says, oh, I need to move away from the fathers. I need a support network. My parents, my brothers and sisters, I need a support network to help me. Usually it's grandparents on the mother's side, the maternal grandparents. I've never seen anyone argue this point right here. By the way, I'm James, Father's Rights and Resources, #HowIGotCustody. If you're a first-time viewer, I got full custody of my daughter when she was 7 months old in 2001. And I've been helping thousands of fathers since then. Stopped counting at 300, the number of dads I helped get full custody without an attorney, some with an attorney. Lit a fire under their attorney. I've helped thousands of other dads fight off bogus restraining orders like I did. Put on their own trials, things like that. And I show you proof of my winning orders in my flow page. If you type in flow page, Father's Rights, or go to the YouTube link in my TikTok, look at the link under there. I have to make 2 steps on TikTok. I can't have a direct link yet because of the number of followers I have. Or the link in my Instagram, or under any YouTube page. You can see my winning court orders. I don't see anybody else out here showing their wins because nobody has any wins. And the people who do it, it's a big secret. You know, you're just supposed to trust them at their word. Anything that I say, I back up or show you, or if I'm just telling you my opinion or a theory, I just leave it at that. I don't try and hustle you with some hot air bullcrap sales pitch. I just keep it raw and real and back up what I'm saying. So, a mother says, I want to move across the country because my family's there. I need a support network. Number one, why is the father not the support network? They're going to move away from the basic life need of a father halfway across the country and take the father away for the benefit of her personal need for a support network. Why can't the father be the support network? If that's the case, that in order to raise a child, you need grandparents as a support network, then how come we're allowing families with a father and mother in the home to raise kids? Think about it. Why aren't we going and rounding up children and shipping them off to the grandparents since they're the support network? Because it's all BS. We have all these cliches and these sayings and these things we do in court out of tradition or the MO of the court. You know what we also did out of tradition in the court system? We used to badger women on the stand who were rape victims. We used to, pass, constitutional case law that says black folks have to sit on a separate part of a train, have to have their own water fountains. Japanese citizens can be interned in concentration camps because of the fear of, them being spies or whatever during World War II. All kinds of crazy stuff we did out of the tradition of the day. So a woman says, I need a support network. Me and the father are broken up. Why can't the father be the support network? You need a babysitter. He's got the first right of refusal. You need somebody to support the kids or take the kids somewhere or whatever. Have the father do it. This is the only way that people can get away with that is if they're crapping on the father and he's a second-class parent. It's almost like he's not even there. Oh, I'm alone as a single mother. I need a support network, so I need to move back with my parents. First of all, why did you move away from them in the first place and try and raise a family if they were needed? They weren't needed. That's your excuse to move away. Second of all, like I said, if the grandparents are so important and you need them as a support network and you can't do it with the dad, well, you guys were married or living together or around each other doing it before. It wasn't until this court conflict suddenly you needed them. It doesn't make any sense. There's no scientific study that says how kids suffer without a grandparent or a support network. There's all kinds of scientific data that says that children suffer without a father in the home full time. It's not without a father being there 50-50. It's not without a father being around. It's the father being in the home full time. And single custodial fathers have the same statistical results as an intact married family. It's the single mother homes that have all the chaos. Suicide rates go up. teenage pregnancy, dropping out of school, depression, mental illness, criminality, gang banging, drug use. All that exponentially goes up when a single mother's in the home. Child abuse goes up 400 times if there's a step parent from the single mom. I swear 80 to 90% of the child molesters out there are the new boyfriend or the stepdad that the mother lets in the home. Women commit 60% of child abuse. You know, they commit like 90% of this alienation, emotional child abuse. The men don't even have the power to alienate unless they got custody of the kid. So, all that being said, here's another thing. If she's saying, I need a support network, she's saying that she's an unfit mother. She's incapable of doing it herself. I would be going to court and say, Your Honor, there's millions of single mothers out there holding down the fort all by themselves with more kids than what we have. And she's saying, I can't do it without my parents. I need my mommy and my daddy. And I would say it just like that in court. I need my mommy and my daddy. I can't live without them. So let's say you're in Seattle like I am, and the mother wants to move to Dallas, Texas, or maybe Miami. That's where my parents are. I need my mommy and my daddy. Why did you move so far away from it? How did you survive without them all these years that you moved away? And when you moved away, you're raising the kids with the father. You didn't have that support network then. What did you have? You had the father. He was your support network. So why can't you still have him as a support network? Oh, I've accused him of domestic violence, and just in case he commits domestic violence, we're going to restrain him, and we're not going to make any findings of facts. Watch my video on YouTube about findings of facts. If you don't understand that the court has to make findings of facts before they do something, you need to understand that. It's a basic fundamental principle. Do you think a judge can sentence somebody to the death penalty if the jury doesn't say, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty? They have to make a finding of fact that they're guilty. Then they can sentence them. But we'll go to family court and somebody will say, well, we're concerned, you're accused of, you might have done this, you might have done that. So I'm going to restrict you from the kid. Didn't make a finding of fact, but they act like you're guilty. That's totally backwards. On top of that, Troxel versus Granville, the United States constitutional case law that all you should have memorized if you've been watching me for more than 3 or 4 videos. Or if you look through my flow page, everything starts with the Constitution. Then there's state law. Then there's science, data, and evidence next after that. Troxel versus Granville says that we assume that fit parents act in the best interest of the child. If I'm not found to be unfit, then I act in the child's best interest. So why would they need to take the children or the child away from me across the country if I'm doing what's best for the child or the kids? And all the science says the child needs me, basically even more than the mother, because the single mother experiment is an utter failure. The single custodial father experiment works just fine because the leader, the protector, the most important thing for a child is safety. And the father can, a lot of women will go to the maternal grandmother and there is no husband there, or, there's a stepdad, or, he's a simp or whatever, and the grandmother runs everything. They'll go run to so you got 2 women protecting the child from rapists and child molesters. The safest place for a child is with the biological father. The end. If safety is the number one issue, like it is in California, Family Code 3020A, that's the first priority before you get into 3020B, frequent and continuing contact. If the child is safe, then you can love the child. If you love the child and they're not safe, what's the point of your love? So to a frail woman and an elderly woman protecting a child, that's your support network? This is insane. It doesn't make any sense. But see, nobody ever sits and thinks, why are they doing what they're doing? Why do they say what they say? Everybody just rolls through the court and like, I got railroaded. And nobody takes a moment to sit there and pause and think and analyze stuff and attack it. Because we're a bunch of lazy bums and we don't think. And we don't plot. And we don't scheme. And we don't plan out for the long term. So if a mother says, I can't raise this child without a support network, how come there's millions of other single mothers out there doing it by themselves? How come you can't do it? Because you're admitting you're an unfit mother. That's a confession to an unfit mother. I'm incapable. Your Honor, I could do it by myself. I don't need her. Give custody to me. There's probably a couple other arguments I haven't thought of, but those are a few off the top of my head that nobody ever argues.